Today on the galley, chicken tenders. So I have just a little over a pound of chicken tenders here. And honestly, I'm just going to treat this like I was making any kind of fried chicken. And I've got about a cup and a half of buttermilk here. And to that, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of my 11 herbs and spices, my copycat KFC seasoning right in there. And of course, we're going to have a little hot sauce. Maybe about a teaspoon, half a teaspoon. You can be the judge of that. And this is what we're going to marinate our chicken in. Give that mix up. Now, I really think that fried chicken is one of those things you got to kind of plan on, because I really like mine to sit overnight in the buttermilk. But if you don't have overnight, then a couple hours at least. The thing with the chicken tenders is you got to take that tendon out, and I just use a paper towel so I can kind of grab it and get it between the tines of a fork and just pull it out like that. So I'm going to get my chicken into my buttermilk, and I guess we'll come back tomorrow for fried chicken tenders. We'll come back tomorrow for fried chicken tenders. So here we are. Well, actually 2 days later. I meant to do them yesterday. Things happened. I didn't. So here we are today. Now, I like to let these sit up to room temperature, because you don't want to drop these really cold chicken into your hot oil. So I have over there in my cast iron skillet, I have my beef tallow warming up, getting ready for us. What I use to fry in, no seed oils, no vegetables, no canolas. They're all bad for you. I am going to just take these out of my marinade and put them in here. And then, don't get rid of this yet. This is important stuff. And then in here, I'm going to do probably about 2 cups of flour. I'm just going to kind of eyeball that. And now just your all-purpose flour here. I'd rather do a little too much flour than and have a little bit of waste than not have enough. But I've used all my seasoning, if that makes sense. And then the rest of that 11 urban spices mixture that we made. In there we go. I'm going to whisk that all up. Now, I do like to let my chicken to bread it and let it sit for up to 10 minutes. Just kind of let everything kind of settle in. But a lot of people just go straight from the dredger to the frying pan, and, whatever works for you. Now, you kind of have 2 options here, okay? Because you can take this and just really put it in there. Just really cover it. But I like to kind of do an extra coating. So you can just stop right there, set it on your rack, let it chill till you're ready for it. Or you can go into your flour, shake it off, put it back into that buttermilk, give it another little roll in there, and then back into your flour, and really let that soak in. So I kind of like the double bread, and I'm going to let that sit there. So I did switch to my hands. I just find it quicker and easier. So I actually worked at a Kentucky Fried Chicken when I was 15. And back then, they didn't have biscuits. They had rolls, and those rolls were really good. And we used to take a cup of mashed potatoes and a cup of the gravy, and then we would build a little sandwich with our roll with the mashed potatoes and then dip it into the gravy. It was good times. So I want my oil temperature. I want to cook this at 350, but I want to let it go up to about 365, 370, because as soon as I put this in here, it's going to start pulling it down. Now I have about 1 inch of tallow in my pan, and don't overcrowd it, because that's going to drop your temperature as well. And then I'm just going to lay my chicken tenders in here, and 3 to 4 minutes aside. And then you can always put your oven on a low temperature, and the ones that are cooked, you can keep them in the oven to keep them warm. So if you're worried about your chicken being done, you can always temp it, and just make sure that you're in the meatiest part of it, in the center, and that it's at least 165. So we're not quite there yet. And I'm going to keep an eye on my oil in case I have to adjust my heat, because my oil has definitely dropped. So I'm going to turn my heat up. So I'm going to do another temperature test, and we are good to go. So I can start pulling the ones that are done out, making room for new ones. All right, these are looking so beautiful. I'm going to finish frying the rest of these, and then we get to have a taste. So don't throw that away. When it cools enough that you can strain it through some coffee filters, strain it through some coffee filters, put it in a mason jar, and you can reuse that 3 to 4 times. So I'm keeping an eye. We're almost done over there. I'm going to get my sauce here ready to go to taste it. Now, this is what happened. When I was in Colorado, my mom wanted some chicken tenders, and I went to Cane's, and I had never been to a Cane's, and I really wanted sweet tea, and I looked up, and they had sweet tea, so I was all for it, for some sweet tea. And honestly, I thought their chicken tenders were really good, and I thought their sauce was really good. So I thought, well, you know what? Let's just duplicate it all, but let's make the seasoning be the 11 herbs and spices from KFC. Let's make the cane sauce here, and fried chicken tenders. And quite honestly, I'm pretty excited about this. And I have my own sweet tea made. Now I'm going to just take one of these small pieces to taste and see what we think. Sorry, I had to just flip chicken. I think it's delicious. I love the sauce. I love the chicken. And now, Billy and I are going to have some chicken tenders for lunch. Thanks for watching, y'all. And all of the recipes is on the website for the KFC blend, for the Cane's, and how to do the chicken tenders. See y'all later.